Okay, Tim, this is a Hornet H2x4. Hornet is my own brand. Okay. Wanted to buy amplifiers from BBI, but he decided he wasn't going to make any more amplifiers, and it took a whole lot of time to get one from him because he stays so busy. So I introduced my own line of amplifiers. That way I can control the quality. Texas Star is not the most reliable amplifier in the world, and they have the same PC board for all of their amplifiers. The Sweet 16 that you were talking about has the same boards as what the 500 has, only it has more of them. It has 4 of them instead of 2. But I like the Sweet 16. It's a beautiful little amplifier, but they've got problems. Anyway, long story short, I got tired of all of that and decided to offer my customers something that I could control the quality on. And this is what came of it. This is a Hornet, okay? This is my brand. As you can see, I use metal clad capacitors on the output sections for the 2879s. Now this is a 2x4. It gets two 2290s, okay, because the guy's just running a regular little Cobra 148. Well, no, it's a Galaxy DX 959 is what he's going to drive this with, okay? So just a driver and final for the output stages of his radio. So it's just a standard CB radio. So you need a couple of 2290s to help drive these 2879s. Now, typically, with 4 2879s, it can take an input of about 48 watts or 12 watts apiece. Okay? With Toshiba's, it's slightly higher. But what we would do is, if we build one of these for you, I would use this cabinet, which is the 2x4 cabinet, okay? But I would not build this input section, okay? This would not be here, all right? We would just have the 4 2879s. And yes, all of my amplifiers come with cooling fans. That's a no-brainer. All of them do, okay? Now, the way this works is that it forces air into the cabinet. Okay, that air is forced down on top of the transistors, but then is forced to duct over this way, go across the heat sink on the bottom, out the back. Okay, but it is forced air. We're pressurizing the cabinet here and forcing air through it, which is the best way to cool them. There's too many ways for air to get in instead of flowing over the heat sink if you try to suck through it. So the best way to do it is force air through it, blow through it. But anyway, everything is done with relays, okay? There's the relay for the amp. Here's the relay for the SSB bias. And they're controlled by switches. SSB and amp. Okay, this is the SSB delay. This is the amplifier switch. These can be mounted remotely. In fact, here's a remote right here, but this one is just to turn the amp on and off. That's all the guy wanted to do. I don't think he ever talks on sideband, but he wanted sideband capability just in case. So this remote turns it on and off. But now I also do a 4-pin remote. Let's see, I've got one over here, as a matter of fact, with this H6. I'm building, this is a 1x6, okay? It uses a 4-pin remote connector, and both of these work. See, one side's for the SSB delay and bias, the other side controls the amplifier, all right? And if you want to control both of those, all we got to do is use that type of connector so we have enough connections, Okay. That's a Hornet 100. Got a lot of work going on here. But you notice I used the larger transformers. Okay. And it's like I said, I can control the quality. I mean, look at the solder joints. Okay. Look at the way it's constructed. Even solder around the where the screw holes are to make sure that the screws get good contact with the copper on the PC board. Alright. And the ground comes in and is soldered to the PC board right there. Power comes in and gets soldered to the power strip right there. Okay. Got filtering on both ends of it. Okay. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Well, this section here, like I said, you won't need it. Now I've got the 5-watt 100 ohm resistors that get installed after I mount the transistors. I'm waiting on another set of Toshiba 2879s. This one gets the Toshiba 2879s for the finals, but it gets the HG 2290s for the drivers. Okay. This one, once we do that, will do about 1100 watts peak. Okay. This is what I'm talking about building for you. Okay. You won't need these driver stages right here because your radio has 2 finals. Alright. So we skip this. We don't even put this in here. Okay. We put the 4 Toshiba 2879s in here. Now, does this? No, this one doesn't get Toshibas. This one gets HGs. I'm sorry. I've got too many orders going on. This one gets HGs. That's why we're using this side of inductor for the power. Now, if we go to the Toshibas, I'm going to increase the size of this. Okay, instead of what is this? 16 gauge, 14 gauge. We go down to 10 gauge. For power cable off of this power bus here. So there'll be a 10 gauge cable going from there to here, 10 gauge cable down here going from there to here. You notice the power is terminated in between these two. That's so they get equal power. Okay. We're keeping the combiner output real short. It goes straight into the relay, and of course that goes straight out to the antenna. Alright, we got let's see, he wanted 8 gauge cable. I wanted to put 4 gauge on here, but he wanted 8 gauge. So, and that's fine because, like I said, we're using the HGs, and I think this only pulls like 50 amps or 55 amps. I'd have to go back and check my notes. But anyway, I just wanted to show you the inside of this, okay? Now yours, of course, we would not have the variable on. We'd do away with the variable. You won't need it. It'll come straight in and go through the combiner and right into the 2879s, out of the 2879s back into the output combiner, out to the antenna. Okay? Alright, let me send you this video real quick. That's the size of the fan. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Here we go. This is the H2x4. And like I said, yours would just be the H4 HD, which is heavy duty. Okay. What the heavy duty version gets is a fan with more output. Okay. It gets more cooling air. Alright, gets the bigger power wires feeding the transistors. It gets the 4 AWG cable. Okay, and for you we would do the 4-pin remote to control both the delay and the amplifier. And you know, I mean, we should have just ordered you one custom built, but I remembered you pointed out it had been 385 days and I didn't have this amplifier line back then. So that's why you wound up getting a 500. Now I can still do the 500. I can use relays in the 500 and do the switching and just put toggles on the front of it in place of those push button things. You know, we can make that work. But I think you'd be happier if we did this. And you can see the size of it right here. It's actually a little thinner than what the Texas Star is. What did I do with it? Texas Star. Texas Star is kind of wide. It's not as tall, but this one's tall because it's got feet on it. He wants to use it as a base station. Let me see. Let me grab that. I'll be right back. Okay. Here's another Texas Star. This is another DX500. You can see the difference in the size. Okay, about an inch taller and about an inch longer, but it's about 3/4 of an inch narrower. No, not 3/4, maybe a half, even, or maybe even a quarter. But it is narrower than the Texas Star. Okay. All right, so there you have it. Like I said, I think you would be happier with a Hornet because it comes with a built-in fan. Well, the Texas Star don't. You have to buy a fan kit. Once you add that fan kit onto that, it's a lot taller than this one. It's about that much taller. No, about that much taller than this one. I don't know if you can tell. About 1.5 inches deeper than this. About 2 inches for the fan kit for that one. You know, so it'd be about 1.5 inches taller than this one. All right, I'm gonna shoot this video to you, and hopefully that'll help you make up your mind. All right, this is one of my little amplifiers. This is an H2. You can see even it gets a fan. Okay, it pushes air in on the side, and I've got the cover on backwards. I got to swap that around. I just realized that. This is, so I'll have to swap that around real quick. My screwdriver out so I don't forget to do it. I got the air passage blocked off, but I would have checked that before I shipped it. See, I haven't even put the Anderson power pole on there yet, and that's something else too. All of them get Anderson power poles. It's up to you what size you want. But if you go with the H4, I'm going to recommend the 120, 120 amp power pole. Okay. But anyway, see, even this one has a remote to turn it on and off. So all of my amps can be operated remotely, both the sideband delay and the amplifier on off. That's why I was pretty sure I could do the Texas Star. I've done Texas Star before to where that it just worked the power, but I had to use 2 relays. But you also want to control the sideband delay remotely, which means that amplifier would need 4 relays, 4 double pole, double throw relays, unless I could find 2 4-pole double throw relays. If I could find that, which I'm pretty sure I could, then we'd only need 2. But anyway, I think you'd be better off with a Hornet. As I'm a little prejudiced. Okay. All right. Let me get this done up and send it to you.